Yes.
So, why did they not just keep a few doing air shows? Was it still too expensive or something?
You couldn't get the license.
Not
for
allowed.
them. They had their run. They were 27 years old, and they then became so expensive. The people that were maintaining them, Airbus, couldn't do it anymore. They could do it if there was more aircraft. If they were still flying 14, which they were originally, Air France and BA flew 7 each. That's enough. But as soon as Air France said we're not flying anymore, then that was the end of it. So.
Mum, look at this. No, as in, quickly, I want you to see it.
You see this here, this helmet here is what the pilots all used to wear when they first started testing Concorde, because they didn't know how it would fly. It was a bit like, as unknown, it was like a fighter aircraft. So they wore helmets, G-suits, parachutes, and then of course after they'd flown it for a little while, they realised it wasn't necessary, so they could just go to their standard pilot's uniform. So then you can imagine they're flying in their pilot's uniform, going faster than any aircraft in the sky, including fighter aircraft, where they're all dressed up like this, and they're having to, air traffic controllers saying, could you move to one side, Concorde's coming through. And the best story I like, the best story of all I think, is when two RAF high-speed fighters were bringing Concorde back. There'd been some problem. They were just escorting Concorde back, and the captain on the I don't think it was a Tornado or whatever they were flying, said, "Oh, we're going to go to a higher altitude. We'll take the lead. Can you keep up with us?" And Concorde said, "Yeah, no problem." And they went to climb, but what they didn't realise is Concorde is the only aircraft that could climb and accelerate until he went past them. So, oh, hang on, we didn't think you could do that.
Crew manual. Crew manual.
Mum, have a look at these.
Okay, the story of our Concorde's coming up. So all the screens are available. There's two up here. Just gather around one and listen to the story.
Brooklands Concorde was the first British production Concorde, the third built in the UK. Golf Bravo Bravo Delta Golf, or Delta Golf as she's affectionately known, opened the door for Concorde to enter passenger service. Like every other Concorde, over 30% of Delta Golf's airframe was built here at Brooklands, before being shipped to Filton for final assembly. In the hands of test pilots Brian Trubshaw and Peter Baker, Delta Golf first took to the sky on February the 13th, 1974, the start of a test programme that would lead to Concorde's airworthiness certification. The first flight, which lasted 1 hour and 45 minutes, saw the aircraft fly from Filton to the Concorde test base at Fairford, to join Concorde 002 and Concorde 01 in the British flight test programme. Delta Golf flew to many locations all over the globe, such as Singapore, Kuwait and the United Arab Emirates, during a flight test programme that lasted more than 7 years. She was the first Concorde to carry 100 passengers at twice the speed of sound.
Yes. We've got a 3-year-old which is taking around soon, so she's doing very well.
The aircraft's final flight came on Christmas Eve 1981, after which she was put into long-term storage at Filton. British Airways acquired ownership of Delta Golf in 1984, and in 2003 offered it to Brooklands Museum for restoration and display. Inside and out, the aircraft had been stripped of just about every conceivable part. But with BA's enormous Concorde spares holding, it was hoped that most parts would be found and eventually refitted.
Russian, I think.
The aircraft was repositioned to allow it to be divided into 5 major sections, after smaller items such as the intakes and wingtips had been removed and transported to Brooklands. The Brooklands built forward and aft fuselage sections were the first major pieces to arrive at the museum in May 2004. A few weeks later, the 2 main wing sections were separated from the fuselage and transported the 125 miles to the museum. The final piece to be moved was the central fuselage section of Concorde, on which the restoration would be based. It was transported along the M4 and arrived safely at Brooklands after journeying down the leafy Surrey roads towards the museum. Hundreds of museum supporters, as well as His Royal Highness Prince Michael of Kent, were present to greet Concorde and see her being unloaded. Although it would be many months before structural rebuilding got underway, The volunteer team set to work restoring key parts of the aircraft, such as the Greek nose and intakes, as well as beginning to remove 20 years of grime from the fuselage and wings ahead of repainting. The museum's contractors for